What's up, bro? How you been?
Good, good. How you been?
Been good, good. Time to do it again.
Yep, yep. All right, so we gotta start out with a banger. UFC 287.
Ooh, get right into it. Get
Yeah,
right
gotta hop into the
into it.
main event. Israel Adesanya knocks Alex Pereira the hell out.
What did we
Big time.
say? What did we say? I called it.
Mm-hmm.
We said he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
We said there was only one naysayer among us. He
Yep.
will not be named. He's not here right
Yep.
now.
Sadly, he's not here.
Little sucker.
But the funny thing is, I actually predicted the round and everything. I predicted the whole
Seriously?
thing. Yep. Live on stream.
Oh.
I was streaming. I stream most of the pay-per-views and stuff, all the big fights. And on stream, I said it. So anyone who thinks I'm bullshitting, they could go back and watch the stream. I said it way before the fight started. I said Izzy second round knockout.
And you know what stuck out to me about that fight was all the adjustments that
Mhm.
Izzy made. Like the first thing that I noticed right off the bat, I'm sure you and everybody else noticed it too, was pretty obvious, is that like after every exchange, he would switch stances.
Mhm.
And like he literally he was like confusing Pereira. He kind of for a while, Pereira, it took him a while to get a rhythm going. Like he was confusing him with the stance switches, and then he was just hitting the leg kicks, the jabs, just sticking and moving, and that was the thing that stuck out to me. It was just that like the stance switches, it really threw him off a little bit.
Yeah,
What is there anything stick out to you?
to me, it seemed like he switched the game plan in that the last fight. He just wanted to stay on the outside the whole fight. He didn't really want, but I think that's what ate at his gas tank. Not only was the leg kicks draining him, but I think it ate at his gas tank toward the end. Just constantly being on his bike, constantly moving, constantly circling the whole time. But this time, he stood in the pocket every now and then. So I think his game plan this time was to stay on the outside, but every now and then come in inside. Just try not to stay in that middle range and trade with him. Either be all the way out or all the way in super close, which is where he ended up actually getting the knockout. He ended up luring him in close and catching him. So I think
It, it
that's what the difference in his game plan was this time.
I think it was kind of weird how he like rope doped him in too, because
Mm-hmm.
because you could see on the replay, like it would be one thing if he kind of hurt him and then had him backed up against the cage, and then Izzy just kind of like, all right, I ain't got nothing to lose, bam, just threw a right hand and it worked. But like you could see on the replay, like he wasn't hurt at all before he started kind of like putting himself up against the fence and just covering up. Like so he did that intentionally. So I don't know, that was kind of weird because he took some heavy shots when he was
Mm-hmm.
in that shell.
Yeah,
When
I
he was in
think
that
I
shell
think it
actually.
was as long as he could see the shots coming, he knew he would be fine. So it's just as long as he stayed aware and he was looking at him and made sure. Yeah, he baited him in. He said it too. He baited him in, and that's why I think that's where the game plan switched. He was either going to be all the way out, jabbing him, picking him apart, kicking him, which is what he did, the whole first round, or he was going to be all the way in, which is what he did every now and then. At first, it seemed super dangerous, but Izzy luring him in is what got him the knockout. So,
And dude, he lured him in. He lured him in, knowing exactly what shot he was going to throw because he knocked him out with the exact same shot that he rocked him in with in the first round.
hmm
Like there's like people like you can see it all over Instagram. People are posting side by sides of when he hurt him in the first round in the first MMA fight, and then when he knocked him out in this fight, and it is the literal like they look like the exact same scene. It
hmm
is the exact same shot. So he saw that shot from the first fight on film probably, and he's like, all right, if I can lure him in, I can lure him into that exact same shot. So that's I don't know, freaking IQ 200 on
yeah,
Mr. Izzy.
and he's quick too. He beat him to it. Alex was throwing a left hook while Izzy threw that right hook, and he beat him to it by a mile.
Yeah,
And he didn't see it
like his
coming.
his hand speed is like super like nobody really talks about it. Like his hand speed's ridiculous. Like
hmm
he threw that overhand, and then he threw that overhand, and the power from the overhand pushed him back against the cage. And before Pereira can turn all the way around, he came all the way back with another 1-2 and fucking knocked him out. Like it was insane. Like his reaction time and his hand speed is some of the best I've ever
Mhm.
seen, to be honest.
And man, that celebration gave me goosebumps every
Dude,
time
the
I see
three
it.
arrows,
Yeah,
the three arrows, dude, that was
that
crazy.
gives me
That was crazy.
goosebumps
Dude,
every time I
did
see
you
it.
see the video game? Did you see the video game promotion that he did where he did like it was like a Game of Thrones thing or something like that. I can't remember what video game it was, but he did a promotion for it, and it was like a couple of weeks before the fight, and he did that. It was three arrows, and it was like I want to try again. I want to play again. It's not over until I win. Like it was super sick.
Oh no, I didn't see
Like that
that.
three. That's what that three arrow thing reminded me of. I'll send it to you if I can find it. I think I saved it.
Hmm. But yeah, I predicted Izzy would knock him out because number one, he dropped him in that first round. Alex, that what we saw Saturday is what we would have saw in the first fight had Alex not gotten saved by the bell.
Yeah,
That's what we would have
exactly.
saw. So
Exactly.
Izzy knew that he could take him out, and I think that's why he was, you know,
Yeah.
saying the hunter has become the hunted, and or the hunted is becoming the hunter or whatever, and he was saying, it'll be done in one, and he was so confident because he knew he could catch him, and he knew if he
Yeah.
caught him, and he caught him, you know, way before the bell and gave himself plenty of time, he knew he would take him out.
Yeah, he definitely watched the film back and he saw that shot and he's like, bro, he was probably like, bro, that shot is wide open whenever I want it.
Hmm.
And he's like, all right, when I'm gonna get it like in the middle of the round, just knock him out with it.
Yeah, he fought in a way that it almost resembled, it pretty much resembled like the fight. He had a fight that was kind of similar where he was all the way in or all the way out like that, and he was willing to stand in the pocket and throw bang a little bit and then get out. Was he did that with Robert Whitaker, their first fight, and that's how he knocked Robert
Yeah.
Whitaker out. He stayed in the pocket and he caught him.
Yeah, he knocked him out straight up from the pocket. They were just slinging leather. They were
Hmm.
like right in each other's face.
He wouldn't stay in that mid range where he was before, staying in that mid range trying to dodge and use his head movement. Instead, he was all the way in or all the way out. And I think that's what made the big difference this fight. I'm not sure how that would have carried on in the later rounds, but he took him out of there soon, so we don't know. Oh, did you also see, speaking of his celebration, did you also see the one of him taunting Alex's son?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I feel about it
I think it's hilarious. I
because
love it.
I do feel like the kid is a little shithead
Hmm.
for fucking laying down right next to Izzy.
Hmm.
That was kind of fucked up, but at
I
the end
just
of
think
I don't know. I kind of thought it was funny.
I just
I kind
think
of thought
it,
it was
yeah, I just think it's funny as hell. I mean, as long as he doesn't say nothing to the kid or nothing. He just pointed at him and then he
dude.
dropped.
Pereira didn't seem to give a shit, man. He
Nah.
was completely fine afterward. Dude, he walked right up to him. He was like, "Ah, man, that was a good fight, bro."
Hmm.
Like, I'm just like I'm sure he was with his family backstage, and like they told him about and everything. Dude, he didn't care.
So what do you think that is the next move for these guys? What do you think is the next move?
Well, Pereira's definitely moving up.
Hmm.
I think it's beyond a shadow of a doubt, just because Dana is like he's pushing the issue. Adesanya's kind of come out and said, "Well, I'm pretty sure he's moving up." So it sounds like they already talked about it. Like if he loses, he's gonna move up to middleweight,
Hmm.
or not middleweight.
He
What is it? Light heavyweight, light heavyweight.
Yeah, light heavyweight. He should,
Yeah, light
because
heavyweight.
people don't realize everyone is calling for the immediate trilogy, but people don't realize when you get knocked out cold like that, you have to take time off. You have to.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
That
protocol
was
because your
enough to
brain got
fail.
rattled. Yeah, it's just proper protocol. They make you take a few months off, and then you have to get after taking a few months off, you have to get back to training, get back to sparring, get back in that shape, and then you
Yeah,
can
he's gonna
fight.
have to eat.
Yeah.
And he needs to take a decent amount of time off because it's
Mm-hmm.
not like he just got one shot knockout. He got knocked out and then he took that heavy hammer
Mm-hmm.
fist right to the so he like he took
Yep.
a lot of trauma
Yeah.
in that
So and
knockout.
Izzy fights too often. So there's no way they can do the trilogy right away. There's just no way. The timing is gonna be too long. Izzy's gonna have a fight before then. Or he's gonna want to fight before then. So I'm thinking either Alex moves up or Alex is just gonna have to wait for Izzy to defend the title one time and then get that trilogy fight. Because Alex is gonna be gone too long. He's gonna be gone for I think at least 8 months before his next fight. At least.
Pereira's gonna move up. It sounds like they already talked
Hmm.
about it.
I think
Like
getting
from the
knocked
way
out like
like
that, you
if
should
you
take at
the
least a
press
year
conference,
though.
huh?
I said when you get knocked out like that, I think you should take at least a year though before you return, just to make sure your
Yeah.
brain heals properly, or else he's gonna go in there, his brain isn't gonna heal properly, he's just gonna get knocked out cold again.
Yeah, he's gonna take some time. He's gonna take some time. He probably take some. He would probably have taken some time anyways, just to you know get used to you know f- being at middleweight or whatever, like
Hmm.
feeling out. That whatever.
All right, so if Pereira moves up, or if he's not Izzy's next opponent, who do you think should be Izzy's next opponent? Because you got Hamzat Chimaev out there. Do you think maybe he should move up and fight Jamal Hill? Because that's a good fight. I'm not sure who else in middleweight he could fight.
He's literally cleaned out the top five.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only guy in
Cleaned out the
middleweight
top
that I
five.
could think
So
of, the only fresh name that he hasn't beaten twice, because he's beaten damn near everybody twice, is Hamzat Chimaev. But I don't think he's ready. I don't think
what
he's
I
fought
think
anyone
what
up
I
there.
what I think they're gonna do is they're probably gonna look for some super fights, just like you said,
Hmm.
and like put the division on ice for a little bit and like let the lower ranked guys fight each other and work their way, for the rest of the year and see who kind of emerges while Izzy like pursues super fights and stuff or pursues a super fight. I
Hmm.
think that's probably what might happen. Like that's happened a couple times in a couple divisions where a champion has cleaned out the division and then they just go on a like there's nobody else for them to fight. So they just go on a like they go chase a couple super fights and then while they're doing that, like a couple contenders come through the ranks and then they'll have somebody to fight when they come back. I think that's what might end up happening.
Hmm.
Unless they throw Chimaev at him, they could do that.
They
Like
could, but I don't know. I just think it's a little risky
isn't he
because
isn't he fighting Rachmanov? Rachmanov, however you say his name.
I don't know who he's fighting. I know they were gonna do the Bilal Muhammad and Rachmanov fight, but then I saw Bilal Muhammad was saying he's gonna fight Kamaru Usman. So
I
I
thought I
don't
saw
know who's fighting now. I have no idea.
I think I saw whenever we're done with this, get a chance try to check Instagram. I think I saw an update where they said they're trying to work on Rachmanov versus
Chimaev?
Shamaev.
That
Yeah.
would be a crazy fight. That would be co-main event pay-per-view worthy fight.
Who would you do? That would be main event. Who would you have in that one?
I would have Rachmanov.
Wow,
I just think
really?
I think his grappling is just as good, and the only thing that will nullify it or puts him above is his striking.
And he's a big, strong dude
Yeah,
too.
he's a big guy.
Like he's not like he like Jemaev ain't gonna bully that dude.
Yeah, and
Like
that's why I saw some people saying, "Oh, put Chimaev in there. He'll ragdoll Izzy and all that stuff." I'm like, Izzy is a big guy, and you don't think he's been working on his takedown defense his whole career? You're crazy, absolutely crazy. Habib
I mean,
Nurmagomedov had a hard time taking Conor McGregor down in the beginning. So,
people really, 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 really hugely underestimate Robert Whitaker's wrestling,
hmm,
and Izzy was just fine. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like
And
like
Izzy is a
he
big
like he's a
guy.
big,
Izzy's gonna
yeah.
look huge next to Hamzat. He's gonna look huge.
I don't
So,
know how tall is Hamza? Hamza's pretty big too.
yeah, he's
Like
a big
he's
guy,
big for the
but
weight class. He's big for the weight class.
yeah. He's big. I mean, he's big for 170. I don't know how big he is for 185,
Oh
but
yeah, for 185.
yeah, for
He's
170, he's a
probably
big guy.
average for 185.
Yeah. But the problem is that, Izzy has fought someone like Jan Blachowicz. Izzy has fought those really big guys. Izzy has fought Derek Brunson.
Yeah.
These big guy, bigger guys than Hamzat that are wrestlers or that have
There's
wrestled him.
I'm not one of them. I'm not one of those people, but there's people that are still kind of debating whether Chimaev even deserves a title shot at 170. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not one of them because he just beat Gilbert Burns,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean anybody that beats Gilbert Burns is, I mean, who else do you have to beat to deserve a title shot?
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But there's still people like, so if it's that contentious on whether he even still deserves a title shot at welterweight, then it might,
The
who
only
knows if he's gonna deserve one at
yeah.
middleweight.
The only problem was that his last fight was what? Kevin Holland. The problem with that is he went from Gilbert Burns to Kevin Holland. He took a step back. So now it's like it's almost like after beating Kevin Holland, it's almost like
Well,
he needs to have another fight before he fights for a title.
that Kevin Holland fight. I mean, that Kevin Holland win's looking a little bit better now.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
It's looking a
Kevin
little
Holland's
bit
no
better now,
slouch.
man.
Kevin Holland is a tough fight to win for anybody.
Yeah, dude, he can legitimately. He's one of those fighters to where, like, yeah, he doesn't win a lot of fights, but he is going to give you a tough fight, and he can beat anybody on any given night, dude.
Mhm.
He could beat it. Like I mean, he's getting better. Like he showed some improvement in there.
Yep, he's getting a lot better.
Not better, but where were we? We were at fight one. No, we were at
Yeah, we're still at the Pajeda Izzy fight.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. The fucking yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be Chimaev at middleweight. So
mhm. I don't
I
think
I
I honestly don't think Izzy should fight Alex anymore at all. Like I don't feel a need for a trilogy. Yeah, some people might, but we know who the better fighter is. They
I
won't.
feel look, I feel like this. I feel like this, right?
Mhm.
Izzy got the last laugh and Pereira got three laughs. Like it's even, bro. Like
It's
they're just splitting it even at that.
you can
I feel
yeah,
like
but this is how I see it, right? If anyone goes back and watches the kickboxing fights, I watched the first one. Izzy did get robbed. There's no doubt about it. Anyone could go watch that fight. Izzy got robbed in that fight. They gave it to Pereira. So what? Pereira knocks him out, whatever. But in MMA, right? In MMA, they've gone 7 rounds. Izzy has won 6 of them. So I, it, yeah, Pereira knocked him out in the last round of the last fight, but we know who the better fighter is. We know Izzy has won 6 of the 7 rounds that they fought.
well, I wouldn't say Izzy's the better fighter because if he was the better fighter, he wouldn't have lost three times. I think Izzy's he's the more skilled fighter. He's the more
Mm-hmm.
technical fighter. He's the more skilled fighter. Like I think there's definitely different types of fighters. Like there's fighters like Pereira who aren't as technical and as skillful as guys as Izzy, but they're dangerous in a completely different way. He's got freaking ridiculous knockout power, and he just walks you down, and he just applies so much pressure, and some guys can't handle it. And I think in that way he's a better fighter than Izzy, and then in Izzy's way he's a better fighter than Pereira. And those are just two different styles, but. I think Izzy's definitely a more skilled fighter. When you watch him, his footwork's better, his head movement's better, his shots are cleaner, tighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely a more skilled fighter. You see it throughout the fights, just like you're saying. Like he's winning 99% of the time when they fight.
Mm-hmm.
He it's just Pereira has that knockout power. He could just put you out at any time, and he just applies so much pressure that you know you just got to dig deep to get through that.
Yeah, that's just that's I think that's the only thing that's really making the trilogy interesting is that You know Izzy is gonna go up in the rounds because Pereira just doesn't have that much output because he gasses out, so he's not gonna have that much output, nowhere near as much as Izzy. So you know Izzy's gonna win the rounds, but really it's just gonna be, can Izzy not get knocked out?
I think
That's all. That's all that fight's gonna be.
they're pushing Pereira to middleweight because I don't think they want like I think the UFC's trying to avoid another like disaster because they know damn well if they fight again, Pereira can very easily knock Izzy out again.
Hmm.
And then what do? They rematch again, and then Izzy wins, and then they rematch again. Like they could very easily have another, Figueiredo Moreno thing on their hands, and I don't think these guys don't want to fight each other forever.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think they're gonna move Pereira up, and Izzy's just gonna run. He's just gonna run uh middleweight for
One
however
matchup,
long.
one matchup I saw for Pereira that I saw someone post, and I was like, "Damn, we need that." It was Pereira and Yuri Prohaska. That fight would be at 205. That fight would be crazy.
Dude, that fight would be crazy. That fight would be crazy. Hill's the champion, right?
Yeah, yeah. Jamal Hill's the champion.
Dude, I want to. I can't. Dude, we kind of want to see him versus Jamal Hill.
I mean, either one of those fights are going to be a striking fest, and it's going to be amazing. I just think Izzy should push for that. You can get the double champ status right now. Push for that Jamal Hill fight because he's way too crafty for Jamal Hill on the feet. Way too crafty.
I don't know. Jamal Hill's a little underrated, man. He's a lot more like I know he's not as explosive as a guy like Izzy, but he's a lot slicker and a lot more technical than people give him credit for. I think he'd give Izzy a little bit of trouble. I think especially if a guy like Pereira can, because Hill's big. Like
Hmm.
he's really, really big. And I think I mean, he'll be able to take shots like even if Izzy hits him clean a couple times, I don't think Izzy will be able to knock him out for a while. Like he'll be able to stay with him for a little while. So I think he could give Izzy some trouble.
Hmm. Yeah, I do. I do too. I just think that I don't see Jamal Hill outpacing Izzy. I just don't see it. Jamal Hill's really, really good, and yeah, he is 100% underrated. 100% underrated. But I think Izzy's just his output and his pace and how he fights is just such a problem for someone like Jamal Hill. So I think he has better of a chance against Jamal Hill than he did against Jan Blachowicz. So I don't know. I just think that what does middleweight have for you? The only person left, the only fresh meat you have is Hamzat Chimaev. Like in my opinion, he still needs one more fight. So you might as
They
well just
should,
go
they
up.
should, they should do the yeah. They should do that fight, him versus Rachmanov.
Yeah, yeah. Chimaev versus
That fight
Rachmanov,
would
and
be
then next one gets the
insane.
title shot. 100% is what they
Yeah,
should do.
dude, that would be fucking insane.
Hmm.
That would be crazy fight.
Yep. I just think that Rachmanov is like a star in the making because of his record and his 100% finishing rate. I'm not sure if they will take that risk in putting him up against someone who's already a star in Chimaev. I don't know if they'll do it. They should though.
I don't know. I think they will. I think they will. They've taken bigger risks before.
Hmm.
I mean, mind you, it was a lot of money. Like they put Connor in there with fucking Khabib and shit, and what was the other one? I can't think of it. But I mean, I think they'll do it. I think they'll do it
Hmm.
if both of them like if Jemayev called him out, they would do that fight. I think.
I think so
All right, what
too.
you think?
They should. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. Gilbert Burns dominates Jorge Masvidal, and Masvidal retires after the fight.
Yeah, man. I mean, so like when before you're with your homies and your fight buddies, and you're always like, all right, who are your predictions? Who you're always saying your predictions, and we all kind of said like, I mean, Gilbert Burns is by far the more skilled and a ferocious fighter, and
Mm-hmm.
he's younger, and Jorge is getting up there in age, and he just doesn't have as many skills. He's not as well rounded as Gilbert Burns is, and it would be very disingenuous to pick Jorge, like to say that Jorge would definitely win this fight. I but you know what I mean, we did say, you know, it's not impossible. He could definitely have knocked Gilbert Burns out. You know, he had a puncher's chance to win this fight, but you know what I mean, I wouldn't have put my money on it. We all kind of had Gilbert Burns
Mm-hmm.
winning this fight. He's more well rounded. He's just a more talented fighter overall.
Yeah, yeah. I expected Gilbert to hurt Masvidal on the feet. What I thought was going to happen is because Masvidal doesn't look the same on the feet, and he doesn't have the punching power that Gilbert Burns has. Gilbert Burns can crack. So I expected Gilbert Burns to hurt Masvidal on the feet, maybe drop him, and then when he's dazed, get down on him and submit him. But he ended up he hurt Masvidal a lot that third round. I'm surprised
Yeah.
Masvidal didn't get knocked out. He ate some shots that were like, damn. That I think most fighters in that division would have been out cold. He ate some shots. But props to him. He kept coming and he was egging Gilbert on and everything. Did you see the controversy going on with that fight?
No, what happened?
Gilbert Burns is saying that he felt 100% that Masvidal cheated and that he rubbed lotion on himself before the fight. So that
Oh.
he knew, he felt him when he got to the ground and everything, that his skin was very, very slippery. He's like, there's a way that you can put lotion on before the fight to where it dries up, but once you sweat, all that lotion comes to the skin and you're very slick and slippery. That's what he thinks Jorge did.
I don't know. I mean, there's no proof. Nobody can prove it. There's no evidence. The fight's
Mm-hmm.
over.
Yeah.
Nobody swiped his body for lotion or anything. So it's not like anybody we can go back and see if he did. But I mean, shit. I wouldn't. He's a little gangster, man. I wouldn't put it past him. You know, it's Miami. It's his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
It could possibly be his last fight. He really, 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 really fucking wants to win this fight. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I could see it too. He looked like a freaking glazed donut in there. His skin was shining. His shit looked like a freshly spit shine bald head. His whole body was just glistening. Like he just went through the fucking car wash or something.
Dude, we didn't. We watched it on a shitty stream. We didn't notice. We couldn't see it.
Yeah, his skin was super shiny. Super shiny.
Oh
Like fucking,
no!
like how in the military when they shine those fucking shoes, that was his whole body.
Damn, dude, he might have did that shit.
Yeah, his
He might
body
have
was
did it.
super shiny. It was weird. Like at first watching the fight like live, I just thought
Yeah.
that, oh, maybe he's just super sweaty. But after Gilbert Burns came with those claims, and if you look, he looks shiny as hell. So I could see it. I mean, at the end of the day, who knows? Maybe that's just him sweating a lot and just his body, what his body looks like sweating. But realistically, I don't think anyone really looks like they rubbed oil all over themselves from sweating, like Jorge
You'd
did.
have to, you'd have to look at some of his his previous fights to see if he looks like that. To see if he
Yeah, I
looks like
never
that in
noticed.
previous
I've never
fights.
noticed that before. He looked shiny as hell.
That's crazy.
He looked like he went through the whole
Damn.
car wash, wax and all. He got waxed and everything.
And he still lost.
Yeah,
He
he still
still.
lost.
He's
Yeah,
gonna. I
but
mean, shoot, Gilbert Burns is a beast, dude. Give him a title
yeah,
shot.
yeah. Gilbert Burns is a freaking monster. I think it was a good move to retire. Honestly, he doesn't look the same, and he's getting.
Yeah,
You know what's bad
I
when
I
Jorge's
was gonna
supposed to
say
have the benefit on the feet, and he was getting absolutely cracked by Gilbert Burns. So
I didn't I was gonna say it earlier, but I didn't want to be like too negative on him. But I mean, he looked like, I mean, there were bursts. You could still see bursts of his prime in there. Like there were bursts of explosions and speed, and like he hit a couple, you know, a couple quick combinations, landed a couple good shots, but like for the most part, overall, he looked a little slow. His
hmm
reaction times were a little bit off. His hand speed, for the most part, was a little bit off. Like
Yeah,
and
his takedown defense
he's
was
just getting up
horrible.
there, man. He's just getting up there in age.
Yeah, his takedown defense wasn't good, and he gassed out pretty early. I'm pretty sure after the first round, already looked like he was sucking in
Yeah.
wind.
Yeah, like the Masvidal that was not the Masvidal that fought Nate Diaz.
Hmm.
That was not the same dude.
Yeah, but I think it's just because, his age just caught up with him at this point. He's just, like he said, I mean, he said it, he just doesn't feel the same anymore. So I think it was a good
I
move.
don't think it's a bad thing, dude. I think considering his age and how long he's been
Yeah, he
fighting,
has a
like he
lot of
said, dude,
fights.
like what he said, he's been doing 23 years. Like
Hmm.
considering how long that dude's been fighting, like even before the UFC, even before he was a fighter, just fighting on the streets, that and considering his age, dude, I think he did well, bro.
Hell
Like
yeah.
he did good, dude. Like there are guys half his age that couldn't have done couldn't have done as good as him, bro.
With
They would have
half
been
the
out of there.
record, too. He has over 50 fights as a pro, and that doesn't even count like his street fights before he got into MMA.
Yeah, dude,
He
he's
has
one of
over
the
50
most
fights.
experienced fighters
Yeah, he did
in the
good.
world.
He had a really good career, man. Got some
Okay.
good highlights out there. I think it was a good move that he just retired now before, you in a way tarnish your reputation by going a little too long and getting beat up by some up and comers that no one knows. It's
Yeah,
better to
man. Like,
just go
and
out.
honestly, what else does he have to gain, dude? He's a freaking millionaire. He's got
Hmm.
businesses going on, businesses booming outside of the cage. He's good. He's
Yep, he's
good.
set. So I think it was a good move. Good
Hall of
luck to
Famer for
him.
sure.
Hmm. Good luck to him, and hopefully we see Gilbert Burns in a title shot soon. I think he should get
Please,
it over Colby, but he's not going to. But
please, dude. I want to see Gilbert Burns get another shot, man.
yeah.
He's ready.
Hmm. But all right, next fight was Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez. I thought this fight was gonna be fight of the night, but it turned out to be very quick. Rob Font taking him out in the first round.
Okay. I'm I'm not I'm not I wasn't too familiar with Ron Font before last night. I didn't watch too many of his fights,
Hmm.
but I am definitely familiar with Adrian Yanez.
Hmm.
And that's a bad boy right there. So I was kind of shocked at the outcome. Like I didn't like, dude, he got flattened. Dude,
Yeah.
that was the most violent overhand. Was it overhand or a right hook? Whatever it was, dude. That was the most violent hook I've ever seen in my fucking life, dude.
Yeah, Adrian Yanez, he was doing so good in the beginning. He was catching Rob. So I was watching the weigh-in show. They were hyping Rob Font up, talking about he might be the best boxer in the UFC. And without a doubt, the best boxer in the bantamweight division. I was like, really? Because he's gotten his ass whooped by like Cheeto Vera. There's been a couple times he's gotten whooped. So I was like, really? This guy's got the best boxing? So I was like, nah, there's no way. Because I've seen Adrian Yanez, and I'm like, Adrian Yanez's boxing is way too clean. And it was looking like it in the beginning of the fight. Adrian Yanez was piecing him up, and then out of nowhere, just Rob Font, Yanez was getting caught, like moving straight back, and he was getting caught right on the chin at the very end of the punches. They were just catching him, and he got hurt. And man,
One of my homies, like I was with my homies watching the fight. One of my homies, he's an MMA fighter and he used to be a boxer. Like he was noticing, like he's like, man, Rob Font's like catch it after every time Giannis throws his combination, he slips his head off to the side. And Rob Font's like catching him every time he slips his head off to the side. And if he keeps throwing that over like slipping his head over to that same side, he's gonna get caught. And he did. He
mm-hmm.
got caught with the exact shot, dude.
Yeah, he got hurt, backing up, trying to lean back a little bit with his hands down. He got like nicked right on the chin and it wobbled him. And then from there, it just all went freaking downhill. And Rob Font took him out. Wasn't
That
expecting
was,
it,
that was
man. I bet on Adrian Yanez to win that one. I wasn't expecting.
dude. I, I thought he would win. I thought that was Adrian Yanez's fight. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Ron Paul was on, what was he on, a two-fight losing streak?
Yeah. Yep. 2 fight
He was on
losing
a
streak.
two-fight losing streak. You know, it was a do or die fight. Adrian Yanez is on the fucking rise, killing everybody. I thought this was just gonna be his fight to win.
Yeah, but I think he'll be back. Adrian Yanez, I think, is
Yeah.
super good. He'll definitely be back. I would love to see that fight again because I was expecting a war, which it was for the 3 minutes it lasted. It was a war. It was a really good fight.
Yeah, it was probably definitely the most exciting fight, like for as long as it lasted.
Hmm.
They got after it for sure. Swinging leather.
Yep. All right, the next one went as I expected. I predicted this one also. Kevin Holland knocks out Santiago Ponzinibbio. I had Kevin Holland knocking
Ooh.
him out in the second round, but he ended up knocking him out in the third round.
I really thought Ponzinibbio was gonna be way too experienced for Kevin Holland,
I just,
but Kevin Holland proved me wrong, dude.
mhm.
Like, sheesh.
I just thought I didn't know Kevin Holland had punching power like that until yeah, I saw the Jacare knockout, but Jacare, he's a lot older, so I wasn't really sure about Kevin Holland's punching power up until that Wonder Boy fight. Wonder Boy ate some hard shots. And I was like, holy shit, Kevin Holland can crack. And then when I saw he was fighting Ponzinibbio, I was like, I just didn't think, because Ponzinibbio has been knocked out multiple times. He's a lot older. He has a lot of mileage. So I was like, if Kevin Holland hits Ponzinibbio with some shots that he hit Wonderboy with, I just couldn't see Ponzinibbio making it out of there. I just couldn't see it.
Kevin. I mean, Kevin Holland, he hits hard, dude. He knocked out Jacare off of his goddamn back.
Mm-hmm.
He's knocked out a couple guys too. Like he knocked out what's that guy, Buckley?
Yep.
You remember that guy that had the viral spinning back kick knockout?
Mm-hmm.
He knocked that guy out. He's got some power, man. He's coming up. He's coming up.
Yeah,
I
he
think it's
could
just an
hit.
experience thing. He just needs time. It's like Oliveira.
Mm-hmm.
When he first came in, he was super exciting and young, but he just needed experience. He needed to get his wrestling right. He needed to clean up his striking.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
think the same thing.
it's his frame. His frame like deceives you. It's like how when Izzy first came to the UFC, they kept calling him skinny boy and they didn't really respect his power because of his body. He was skinny. It's like Kevin Holland's the same. He's skinny, but he's got some fucking power. He could hit.
Yeah, it's deceiving because you don't realize like those guys they look skinny just because their bone structure like they have longer bones and I mean a lot of those guys though it makes people underestimate not only like punching power but those guys' strength. A lot of those guys are really strong. Like
Mm-hmm.
like Izzy's really strong in the clinch. He's the one in the first fight. He's the one that took Pereira down and was controlling him, even though Pereira's way bigger. You know what I mean? It's in terms of like muscle mass. They're the same height, but yeah, man, they get like it is really deceiving. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it went as I expected. I had Kevin Holland taking him out a little earlier, but Kevin was fighting very, very passively. He wasn't fighting very aggressive. He wasn't as active as I thought he was gonna be. So he took him out in the third round, but I was expecting him to take him out a little bit earlier than that. But yeah.
I expected Ponzinibbio, like I said before, I expected him to just be too experienced. I
Hmm.
expected him to just be able to, you know, outbox him, hit him with some heavy strikes. I didn't think he'd be able to knock him out because, Holland's a really tough guy. But I thought he'd just grind out a boxing decision against him. But
Yeah, Ponzinibbio's good.
that's
Ponzinibbio's got some power too. I don't know. Something just told me that Ponzinibbio just wasn't gonna make it.
he just wasn't the guy.
Yeah, something just told me. I think Kevin Holland's chin is just too good. Kevin Holland can really take some punishment, man. He's got a really
Has he
good
ever
chin,
been
so I just didn't
has he
see
ever been
Ponzinibbio
knocked
taking him
out?
out.
Has Kevin Holland ever been knocked out?
I don't think so.
I don't remember. I've seen him fight a couple times. I don't think I ever remember him being knocked out.
I don't think I've ever even seen him really get like wobbled or anything. He's taking some hard punches.
Yeah, I've seen him get stunned a couple times, but nothing
Uh huh.
crazy. Like
Yeah,
like
like that
he's
Wonder
he's
Boy fight. That Wonder Boy fight, he did get caught a lot.
yeah, Wonder Boy won that fight, right? I didn't get to see that
Yeah,
fight.
yeah. Wonder Boy won that fight. Kevin Holland was stopped. I think he stopped on the stool because he like broke his hand or something. I think
Ooh,
his hand was broken,
damn it.
which is also why I think he was probably so passive in this fight because he was coming off of that broken hand, so he probably was a little cautious. He didn't want to break it again
Yeah.
because he came out with that Wonder Boy fight guns blazing, but this fight he was a lot more patient and took his time.
Hey man, it was a blessing in disguise. Maybe this is how he needed to start fighting a little more often, you know what I mean? Take your time, don't just rush into these firefights and stuff. Just, you know what I mean? You're a longer dude anyway, so pick your shots, take your time. I think it served him well.
Hmm.
Came out with the knockout.
Yep. Yeah, we like Kevin Holland. He grew on me. I didn't really like him at first, but he grew on me. I like him now.
I like him.
Yeah, he's a really
I
good
like him.
fighter.
All right, he's such a cool dude. Like he's kind of like Wonder Boy. I like how him and Wonder Boy like they're about to fight each other, but they could just sit in a room like directly in front of each other, like best friends, and have do like a game show together or something. Like it's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Like they're pretty cool dudes.
All right, next was the huge upset in my eyes. Man, the 18-year-old Raul Rosas Jr. loses to Christian Rodriguez.
I didn't catch that fight.
Man.
However, he is only 18. Like people
Hmm.
need to people are like going crazy about this shit. Like, dude, he's a kid. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, give him some time, dude. He's all right.
Yeah, he's fine. You could just tell that he it's clearly a lack of experience. He came out a little too fast and a little too hard, and he gassed himself out. And Christian Rodriguez paced himself well, and you could tell Christian was clearly way stronger. He was way too strong for him, and I just didn't think. I thought Raul would submit him in the first because I'm pretty sure in Christian Rodriguez he has a loss, and I think it is by submission. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was by submission or something like that. So I was like, man, Raul is gonna submit him, and then on top of that, Christian Rodriguez didn't make weight. So I was like, I don't know, maybe he's not as focused in this fight. So I was expecting Raul to kind of run through him like he did in his last fight, but and he was doing good. Raul did really good. In the first round, it was looking like he was going to just run right through him, but Christian hung in there, and second and third round just dominated the fight, completely took over.
I mean, you can interpret that a couple ways. You can interpret that as, you know what I mean, he's improved a lot since his previous fights and he just put on a performance. You can interpret it as, him missing weight kind of helped him out a little bit, maybe. I
Hmm.
mean, it depends on how much weight he missed by. Probably not that much, but um, either way, I mean, like you said, he did good at first. He just has to learn how to pace himself. Is exactly how you said it. It's just an experience thing. You know, what I mean, he's gonna come back, and he's not gonna go crazy like that anymore. He's gonna pace himself. He's gonna ease himself into his fights, and he's gonna come back and be a beast, dude. That kid's crazy good.
Yeah, yeah, he'll be back, man. He'll be back. He is really really good. Yeah, I think it's an inexperienced thing.
That's the problem. That's the problem with hype trains. Like you build this big hype train, but that's the thing. Like you lose one fight and it's like, oh, you suck forever now. Like
Yeah, nah. He's still good. He's
that's
only 18 years old. Plus, he's only going to get stronger. The older you get, the stronger you get. He's only going to get stronger from here. He's only going to get better. Yeah, maybe we might not have a new youngest UFC champion in UFC history, but I look
dude,
forward to
it
seeing
still
where
can
he
be
can go.
done, dude. He's
Yeah,
still
he's
young
still
enough to
so
do it.
young. Yeah, he could. He still could.
He's got a little while, dude. He's got a while before he's got a while.
He's got what? At least what? Three more? How old was John? 21, 22?
John Jones was 23, I think.
23. Okay, okay, yeah. So he's got a while. He could work his way back up. It could
He
still happen.
he he's got time, and he totally could too.
Hmm.
He totally could do. He's talented enough. He's talented enough that I think he could do it. He could do it by then.
Yeah, he could
I
definitely
mean,
do
it,
it.
it, it
I think.
depends on who else is out there. But
Hmm.
I mean, he's talented enough to.
I said this live on stream, and I'll say it now. I think he does have what it takes for sure. I just think that the only people, if he makes it up there, the people he's gonna have a real problem with that I think that he'll lose to are Marab and Sean O'Malley. I think those two are what's gonna give him the real problems. Because Sean O'Malley, he's gonna have the takedown defense on point. He already knows Raul's gonna be shooting like crazy, and you don't want to stand up anywhere near Sean O'Malley. He'll kill you.
Yeah,
And
Sean
then,
O'Malley's gonna be moving around like
mhm,
crazy. Like
yeah,
he's
and
gonna
you
be moving around
and
like a rock.
Marab is a no-brainer. Marab is just a little tank. He'll just walk through you and do whatever the hell he wants to you. So I think those are the two fights. If he makes his way back up, I think those are the two fights to look out for. That'll cause him some real problems down the line.
Yeah. I think, sometimes, you just have to outlast people. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, if he's around long enough, because he's young as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So, if he's around a lot longer than those guys, he might just make it to the top one day. I think what I see in him is he's definitely talented enough to be a champion, but plenty of people are talented enough to be champions. Like if you're ranked in the top 15, or I don't want to say top 15, if you're ranked in like the top 10, you're talented enough to be a champion. It's just like a lot of it is mindset, and I think he has the right mindset, especially for his age. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
just a matter of time. All he has to do is just keep improving. He has a championship mindset. I think he could. He could be a
Yeah,
champion.
yeah,
There's a couple guys up there that'll give him some trouble, but you know what I mean. He only needs one.
yeah. I think a lot of people are misconstruing his confidence. They see it as arrogance or cockiness, but no. When you're a fighter, you have to think like that. You have to think that
Yeah,
you're the best. It's just that some people will say it out loud, some people won't. He's just confident enough to speak it out loud and say that he's confident he'll be the best. And he doesn't care. He's going for the belt and everything. It's not arrogance or anything like that. He's just extremely confident, which every fighter is. It's just that most people don't say it out loud. Every fighter thinks that way. Or else, they wouldn't be a
I think
fighter.
I think a lot of people that haven't fought a lot, or who aren't fighters, or don't coach fighters, or deep into the fighting like that. I think they don't, like, a lot of those people don't understand what a championship mindset is.
Mhm.
And it's not like an arrogance or a cockiness, or like what he's got is a legit belief in himself. He believes he can be the best in the world. He believes he is the best in the world already. Even though he's not, everybody knows he's not, but he believes he is, and that's a very dangerous thing, dude. Like
Mhm.
it's that's what it takes to be a champion. He's got the mindset, and I think he could do it.
Yep. Yep, that is what it takes. 100%.
Yes, sir.
I look forward to seeing where he goes from here, who he fights next, and where he takes his career. I'm sure he'll be back with a win, his next one.
You got any suggestions? Where you think should be next one?
Um, I don't know. Maybe bring him back down, fight someone who's making their UFC debut. He fought a guy who was 1-1 in the UFC, so he had some experience. Um, Maybe give him a guy making his UFC debut.
Yeah, give him
Start
more
from square
experience.
one. Yeah, just start from square one. He's got plenty
That's
of
a good
time.
idea. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Trying not try to push him too quickly, dude.
Mm-hmm. All right. This weekend we do have a fight night, a really good fight. Max Holloway's taking on Arnold Allen. This is gonna be a good one. This is gonna
Dude,
be a good
I
one.
really. I'll let you go. I'll let you go. I'll let you go. Who do you
I,
who do
I'm.
you got? How do you think it's gonna
I mean,
go?
I'm gonna
How
be
do you like
biased.
the
I'm a Max Holloway fan, so
style?
I love Max. So obviously, I got Max by total domination, by freaking the way he beat Brian Ortega, and I don't see Max knocking him out. I don't think Max is really knocking anyone out, but by fucking brutal, bloody fashion, I got Max Holloway winning a decision.
Uh, I'm a little. I mean, I don't totally disagree with you, but I'm a little more reluctant to go that far with it. I
Hmm.
I think Max Holloway is gonna have his handful a little bit. I think this guy's man. I mean, look at some of the guys that this has put hands on. I mean, Calvin Cater.
Hmm.
Oh man, who's the other guy?
He beat
I'm spacing out tonight.
Dan Hooker. He knocked out Dan
Dan
Hooker.
Hooker, dude, straight up. I saw that fight.
Hmm.
I saw that fight live, dude. He straight up violated Dan Hooker. Just got in his face, like no respect for his distance. He just got in his face and just bah bah to the body, bah to the head, like that. That dude, like he reminds me, like his style is, it's not like his fighting style physically isn't like Alexander Volkanovski, but I think like his mentality when he fights, it's very similar, and he could take a punch, man. I think he's the type of guy that's gonna he's gonna get Max Holloway's chest, homie. He's
Hmm.
gonna like I don't know. I think he's gonna give him a little bit of issues.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. He's beating some good guys. Yeah, he beat Dan Hooker, Calvin Cater. He beat Sadiq Youssef also. Sadiq Youssef, a big, very underrated fighter in my opinion. He's really good
Yeah,
too.
he beat a lot of guys that are built like Max Holloway, like skinnier,
Hmm.
longer
And that
guys
are
that are
really good strikers
like
too. Really, really
like
good
yeah,
strikers.
that throw a lot of volume too. Like he's used to fighting guys like I don't know. I think he's I definitely think Max Holloway. He's the more experienced fighter. He's the more technical fighter. He's definitely the more skilled striker overall. But I think he could definitely have his hands full with this kid for sure.
Hmm. We'll see. I mean, it's hard to tell with Max because he destroys Calvin Cater, beats up Yair Rodriguez, and then gets dominated on the feet by Volkanovski. So I think it's gonna depend. I mean, Max Holloway comes to fight regardless. I think it's gonna depend on how Max Holloway's feeling this night and if Arnold Allen can take the punishment. If Max Holloway is on his game, because we've seen when Max
Yeah,
Holloway's on his game, he looks unstoppable.
yeah, we have seen Max Holloway like lull in there a couple fights now. You know what I mean? He
Hmm.
did. There's a couple fights like he shows up on sometimes, and then sometimes he does show up off. Like both of the times he lost to Volkanovski, he looked slow. He looked, I mean, not slow, but slower than usual. He looked a little
Yeah.
sluggish, not super into it, not super energetic. So yeah, you're right. It depends on what Max Holloway is going to show up, and that Max Holloway now. No, he's definitely gonna. Max Holloway's definitely gonna drag Homie into deep waters for sure in that fight.
Hmm.
He's gonna have to go through some stuff to beat Max Holloway, but
It's a good test. I think if Arnold Allen wins this fight, he should be next for a title shot. He should be next. If Volkanovski beats Yair, because if of course if Volkanovski lose, he's gonna get an immediate rematch because he's been such a dominant champion.
oh
So
yeah,
if Volk beats Yair, Arnold Allen beats Max Holloway, Arnold Allen should be next without a doubt.
I
So
mean, I can't argue with you. That makes a whole lot of sense.
so you
I think
think
that I
Arnold
think that
Allen
works
is gonna
out.
beat him?
I don't think he's going to. I don't want to say he's necessarily going to, but I don't agree that Max Holloway is going to run through him. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a tough fight for Holloway. I think Holloway is coming off of, not a demoralizing loss. I don't think he's the type of guy that gets demoralized. He's a pretty down to earth, chill dude. But he's coming off of a pretty disappointing loss where he looked slow, he looked kind of sluggish. And this fucking, like I said, dude, this kid's gonna get in his chest. Like
Hmm.
this kid's gonna come bang, and he doesn't discriminate. He's gonna throw to the head. He's gonna throw to the body, kicks, combinations, hands and legs. He's gonna bring it. He's gonna bring a fight to Holloway. So Holloway's gonna have to be on point 100% of the time for this fight. So
Yeah, I agree. I
if
agree.
if
I
if he
just
if he comes in looking like he did in his last couple fights against Volkanovski, I think he could have a tough time for sure.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm a huge Max Holloway fan. Izzy's my first favorite fighter in the UFC. My second is Max Holloway, so I'm a little
I dude,
biased.
I love Max Holloway too. It kind
Hmm.
of hurts me to say all this to say all this stuff, but
Yeah, but I can see it.
man,
Arnold Allen is a
everything.
very, very tough opponent. Very tough and hungry, young and hungry.
Yeah, young and hungry, dude. Like it's just, dude, he applies so much pressure. Like Max Holloway is gonna have to be. It's not gonna be like how it is with Volkanovski, like Mac, where like they hang out for a little bit. Max Holloway's gonna have to be on point the whole fight.
Mm-hmm.
This kid's gonna bring it to him.
Looking forward to that one. Can't wait to see that one this
Oh yeah, dude,
weekend.
I'm looking forward for that, dude. This is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a good one.
All right, so the last topic we'll talk about OBJ signing with the Ravens.
Ooh, juicy, juicy.
Came out randomly as hell. I was expecting a team to wait till after the draft to pick up OBJ, but they jumped on it already. So it's looking
It's
like
crazy because this came out of left field. Like I don't even think this was one of the teams that were being discussed.
I don't think so either. I think he was talking about the Cowboys. I
It
can't
was the
remember who else.
Cowboys, freaking the
The Bengals,
Bills,
I think.
the Bengals. Yeah, yeah. They like the Ravens weren't even a. Well, no. Okay. Question: what was the deal? Do you know what the deal was? Because I haven't gotten a chance to see it.
No, I don't think they've actually made.
I heard he got the bag, dude.
I'm not sure. I don't think he's actually signed yet. I just think that they are signing him. I could check real quick. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Odell is getting paid for real.
What's the bag?
One
What is it?
year, 1 year, 18 million. 18 million for
Ooh,
1 year. That's a lot of money, man.
ooh, yeah. They did. All right, all right,
That's a
all right.
steal.
That was definitely a Lamar thing. I was like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, Lamar, let's do this. Try to make you happy.
18 million. Yeah, that's crazy. 18 million on
No,
someone who's
that is,
really, in my opinion, headed down in his career. Not where he once was. He's still a good receiver, but I just don't think he's as good as he used to be. 18 million for 1 year is crazy in my opinion. But hey, good for Odell, man. Good for
I
him.
think he. What made you? What do you think made you? I mean, obviously it was the money. Nobody
Hmm.
else was probably gonna offer him that much money, but
Yeah, no.
um,
I was thinking more like at most 10 million. At most, if they're only signing him for 1 year.
coming off of a
Coming off of,
not
yeah, a huge injury.
not only coming off of a torn ACL, but coming off of like what, almost 2 years of not playing football now.
Yeah. And then being
Like
a little lackluster when he is playing too. I mean,
yeah, dude,
he's had some good moments, but you can tell he's not where he used to be.
that is a very, very, very big commitment for a guy
Hmm.
like that, dude. I'm just saying. I mean, obviously, Odell Beckham Jr. is one of the most gifted human beings God's ever put on this earth, but still, like I said, coming off of a torn ACL, hasn't played football in 2 years. We all saw how fucking Deshaun Watson looked after
Hmm.
not playing football for 2 years, dude. Like he looked like, dude, he didn't do shit last year. He looked like dog shit, dude. Um, and they're paying him the godly amount of money they're paying him. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how this Odell Beckham Jr. thing is gonna work out, man. That wide receiver is a position where you have to be like twitchy, explosive, dude. You have to be the
Hmm.
most explosive human being on the field, almost. Like, I don't
Yep.
know. I don't know. We'll see how it works out. How do you think it's gonna work out?
I think he'll do all right, but it's just I think it's more just a matter. I think he's still definitely a good receiver. There's no doubt about that. He should be playing in the NFL. He's still good enough to be in the NFL and start as a receiver, but is he like gonna be their number one? I don't think so. But the real problem is, can he stay healthy? That's the real problem. Can he stay healthy? Because now you just signed a guy to an $18 million deal. If he gets injured in the beginning of the season, he could be gone your whole season. So then you just signed this big deal for no reason.
Honestly, I honestly think this works out. I mean, if we're being like for OBJ's longevity and for his money situation, this actually works out probably for the best for him because not
Mm-hmm.
only does this make him the most amount of money, but he goes to a team that's a run first team. It's a run centric team. So even if he was the number one, he's not going to be asked to carry the load for the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't think he's going to be the number one anyway. So not only is he I mean, it's gonna suck for his production and it's gonna hurt his ego, but for his long-term health and his longevity, he's not gonna see the amount of, I mean, who knows, but I don't think he's gonna see the amount of catches that he's used to seeing. He's definitely not gonna be he's not gonna see number one wide receiver catches, I don't think. Especially not in that offense. The number one receiver for the past however many years hasn't even seen number one receiver targets. So
Hmm.
um, it works out for him. You know what I mean? He gets to play some football. He doesn't get to go super crazy with the snaps, and that helps him not to get injured. And he's making a bag, dude. I think it works out. I think he's good.
Yeah, and I think at this point he doesn't. I don't think he really cares as long as they're winning. If they're losing and he's not getting any targets, I think it's gonna bother him. But as long as they're winning, I'm sure he doesn't care because it seems like at this point he's just chasing rings.
Yeah,
Because
and
any
dude,
of the teams that he wants to go to, they're all like the top teams. He just wants a ring.
he's totally a piece that can help them win, for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he helped out especially in the playoffs up until he got injured. He helped out the Rams a lot. He was doing really well.
Yeah, dude, I think he gives them a boost. He does. He definitely does give them a boost. Just how are they? I mean, how are they going to use him? That's my question. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. And here's another thing too. He's bulked up a lot. So is he even gonna have the same speed as he did before? And
he's probably thinking about his health. Like he's
yeah,
like, all right, I need to put on some size, some muscle,
yeah.
get a little
But
bit more
not only
durable.
is he bulked up, but he has a messed up knee. He has a knee that's gone through some stuff. So he has a
Dude,
messed up knee, and he's bulked up a lot. So I just don't think he's gonna be as big of an asset, but he's still worthy of being a starting NFL wide receiver. There's no doubt about that. He proved that last year.
yeah, I definitely don't think having OBJ on your team in terms of on the field play is never a bad thing.
Mhm.
Never a bad thing. I mean, it's always a good thing to have OBJ on your team. I don't care how many times he tears his ACL.
Yeah.
He's always a good thing.
Yeah, I think he's a good pickup. Just for 18 million is a little crazy, but I think he is a
Yeah,
good
that is
pickup
a little nuts, dude. For
for
one
only one
year,
year.
18 million.
Yeah, he gonna get his 18 million and then just jump
Like,
to another team.
you're basically saying, oh my, okay, OBJ, this one year, you're the reason why we're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
We're gonna win the Super Bowl. You're that's what they're saying, and I
yeah,
I I disagree.
and they must really be liking him too because I don't know. The only way I could see them picking him up this early is if they were worried he was gonna go sign somewhere else. Because why not wait until after the draft? Why not just wait till after the draft and
I
then
think it
see
was
if you can go
Lamar,
get him?
dude. I think Lamar said, "Bruh, go sign OBJ. That's the only way I'm staying. If y'all do that right now, I'll
Possibly.
stay."
Yeah,
Like
probably.
I legitimately think that's what happened.
Yeah, there's no doubt Lamar's staying in Baltimore now because, they were posted on FaceTime together and he signs with the Ravens. So there's no doubt in my mind Lamar is staying in
I think that
Baltimore.
it was Lamar thing. He said, "Go get OBJ, give me my money, and I'll stay. I'll
Hmm.
stay. That's it."
Yep.
Shit, I mean, they did that. 18, 18
Yeah,
mil.
18 million is crazy.
Yeah. Shit.
I wonder where they calculate these numbers. Like where do they get these numbers from? Because it was the same with Patrick Mahomes when he got that crazy. Well, what was his deal? It was like some crazy.
It's 10 years, 10 years. The extension was 400 and something million. Altogether is 10 years, 504 million, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, where do they get 500 million? Where do they get that? How do they calculate this? They could have gone like 100 million, 200 million. They just jumped straight all the way up to 500 million. No negotiating. They just said, fuck
Well,
it. We're just going to
what
give
they
you
did,
this big ass number.
what they did was they locked him down. They backloaded the hell out of the contract. Like
Hmm.
most of the money is towards the end of the contract.
Oh,
And so
so
like
he'll
every
have to
year
make it.
his yearly
Hmm.
salary goes up. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna milk out all his prime years, and then once he starts getting older and his contract starts going up, they're either gonna cut him or they're gonna start restructuring or something.
Hmm.
But they locked him down for the long term for all his
Yeah,
prime years.
maybe now I see why it makes sense now because you throw out that big ass number, 500 million, he's gonna be like, hell yeah, sign. He ain't gonna even hesitate with that. That's a
Yeah,
lot of money.
that's just a groundbreaking, history making, ridiculous looking number. Like who would
Hmm.
say no to that?
Yeah. Yep.
Like $500 million. I don't care if it was a 20-year contract. Who's gonna say
Hmm.
no to $500 million? I'm not.
Yep. But back to the OBJ one, I wonder if they did negotiate. Maybe they did come to him with like 10 million and he said no.
Like they probably would have signed him to like what you said, like 10 million. But Lamar was probably in their ear about it. OBJ is like, dude, I'll go over there if you can get me the bag. So Lamar's like, all right, I'll get you the bag. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, probably. I could see that.
Oh yeah, man, I gotta start getting myself to bed, bro. My baby's calling.
Yeah, me too. It's getting late.
Oh shoot, it was a good one tonight, bro.
Yep, it was good talking to you, man.
Oh yeah, man, you have a good night. We'll do it again, bro. We'll do it again next week.
Yep, be back next week.
Yes, sir. Love you, homie.
All right, see ya.